Hey, what is going on YouTube? Ron here. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, and this time we are on the World of Warships Legends official Facebook page, or one of the official Facebook pages, instead of the Discord. And the reason being, I was scrolling through this page, commenting on a few random posts, so if you're not in there, make sure you hop in there and make comment on your post, and I saw this post. Now, a few of you tagged me on Discord, sent me personal messages, and said, hey, I saw this in the Tulsa trailer, I'm not sure. And guys, I actually think it might be. Now again, Wargaming throws these Easter eggs at us and doesn't necessarily put in the ships, but we all know that the 4th of July update is coming, and the USS Salem may be in it. Now it is probably going to be next update, the not this upcoming update, but the one after it, if I had to apply logic to it. And I honestly think it's going to be for steel. Now I cannot believe that Wargaming would put another Des Moines class. If you know what the Salem is already, if not, we're going to be going over it, as you can see in the windows here above. Also pay attention to the Easter egg. It's a great one. But the Salem is a Des Moines class, so it's a tier 10 on PC. And I cannot believe that Wargaming would put two Des Moines class cruisers in the game at Legendary tier before any other heavy cruiser. Now, we all know that it's, like we said, it's the 4th of July update, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's 8 reskinned Iowas, another, AL Baltimore, or, American ships, they sell well. Let's be honest. You Wallet Warriors love to buy your American battleships. But let's go ahead and compare it to a few pictures here. So it's the selling point of why we think it is the USS Salem is the 139. Now, I can't really truly make that out. I even said in the video it looks like a Des Moines, and if you guys know, the Salem is a Des Moines heavy cruiser, a Des Moines class heavy cruiser. Yeah, words, Aaron. Sorry for the light. The World of Warships Legends wiki page does not have a dark theme, but here is a few pictures of it, and guys, it looks almost identical. The paint scheme, etc. Now, this is a very limited view, and I'm sorry for using this gentleman's image. I just don't want to show his name on the video here. But let's go ahead and take a look at the stats of the Salem. But before we do that, before we do that, I think the Salem is going to be steel. Now, we all know that they are changing the price of the Missouri, and unfortunately, they are not refunding anyone who bought it before this previous update, which is I think is kind of a slap in the face. Now, we know Wargaming, and they did do the right thing for people who recently bought it, but the people who bought it in the beginning, those are your long-term players. I can't believe you would not give them some sort of steel compensation. Wargaming, prove me wrong and give the long-term players some form of steel compensation. It's not like they're not going to use it, right? They're still going to be grinding steel. Those are the players who have been here the longest. But besides that, I think the Salem is coming in as a steel ship in probably the following update. And I also wanted to include the time here because I have not gotten a patch notes, so I don't know. So Blip and Orochi and Sahales, don't get mad at me. So if this is true, I could be wrong about all of this. This is all speculation. So if you haven't got to this point of the video, or tag people so they can see this point in the video. So this is all speculation. I probably should have said that at the beginning. But here, let's go ahead and take a look at the Salem now. The Salem is a Des Moines class heavy cruiser. Her main battery mounts were equipped with an auto loading mechanism, which is why the Des Moines and the Salem are so strong, which provided her with the greatest firepower among ships of her type. That 5.5 second reload, which you guys know with my DPM build, is below 5 seconds. It was like 4 seconds before they nerfed the Des Moines, which, again, we talked about this in other videos. It just doesn't make sense. They buffed the Colbert, but they nerfed the Des Moines. And honestly, the Des Moines got a shadow nerf when it didn't, it got moved up from, or when Tier 8 was added, because all of those ships that, bounce off that 27mm plating, other than the Alsace and the Burgoyne, the Des Moines no longer faces. But the Des Moines is still a very strong ship, don't get me wrong. But the Wargaming buff and nerf department needs a talking to, or they need to play their game. But anyway, the cruiser's advantages includes advanced radar equipment, powerful AA artillery, and reliable horizontal armor. I think that's deck armor. I don't know. But anyway, here are those guns, the 203 millimeters. 49,000 hit points, so I think a little bit less than Des Moines, but I think she has a little bit better armor. 30-second rotation time, which is actually, they say that's not that great. We were comparing the Tulsa, and also on a little side note here, the Tulsa, in my video, a lot of you were like, wow, it's going to be bad. Wargaming is not going to put another overpowered ship in the game after these potential EU laws. So let's get that through our heads. But all things considered, the Tulsa is probably going to be a half-decent ship. Yes, it only has 6 guns. Get good, right? I used to be of the opinion that every ship has to be OP, and if you think every ship has to be OP, I recommend you getting good. That being said, I don't think the Tulsa is going to be OP in any regard. The last amazing campaign we had was potentially the Hayate or the Republique, and I still think those were balanced. So taper your expectation with campaigns. The only hope is that they add Hindenburg as well as Salem in the Bureau. I didn't see any other ships in the video. Now, some people did say Enterprise was spotted, but again, we're unsure of that. Anyway, though, back to the stats of the ship here. Let's just go ahead and go down to the pros and cons. An insane rate of fire for such heavy guns, high shell arc for making firing over islands easier, so you're going to want to be an island boy. It it kind of irks me when people are like, well, yeah, that's hard behind it. Yes, that's how you play the ship. It's rock, paper, scissors. No, me going out toe-to-toe against your battleship, of course it's no match. But anyway, APSASHS, which stands for Super Heavy Shells, retain penetration at range with superior ricochet angles. No, I think those were nerfed for Des Moines as well as reload, so it just doesn't make sense why they would add this ship. And guys, I would love to have this ship in the game if it does come, but it just, wargaming in there, they basically just want to sell premiums at this point, if we're being honest. Like, the game desperately needs other nations of balance at heavy cruiser. The Hindenburg, the Venezia, the Zhao, the Smolensk. We could have had Petro at legendary tier. I don't mind Petro at tier 8. I guess they're trying to stock tier 8. I don't know. But regardless, it has a fair to good AA suite that turns solid when defensive AA consumable is activated. Contrary to the sidebar data on this page, Salem's long-range AA reaches out to 5.8. I don't know what that means, but 27 millimeters of armor protects against 15, 30 midsection. So it has a 30 millimeter midsection, which protects against 16-inch guns, and the Citadel is protected by a thick 152 belt. So if you angle, you could possibly protect yourself. Now, that is one part of the Des Moines that she does get skill issued up close against Overmatch. I've gotten absolutely blapped. It seems like people get the best RNG. Regardless of that, I still had some pretty nutty Des Moines stats when she came out. I'll try and throw those in the edit. If not, we'll save them for another video because we have a few videos saved in the precious Des Moines. Blip and a few others referenced me when they nerfed the Des Moines. I think they were joking, but you guys know that I am American heavy cruiser boy. So now let's go to the cons. And a lot of the cons, I was reading over these before I started this video. They're not really cons, but the short range main battery, with stock 15.8. That's irrelevant in Legends. The same thing with the Tulsa, I think. With our commander system, we could push that out to 15 and 16 kilometers anyway, and anything past 17, you're just wasting your time, especially with the slow velocity. Now, the Petro, something like the Donskoy, you can push that range out a little bit further, but with the American cruisers and most other nations without the high velocity, you're wasting your time. You're going to hit one shell, you may get a lucky fire, and other than that, that's it. High shell arcs, yeah, that's why you don't want to shoot further than 15 or 16, honestly. Slow turret traverse, we all know that is the weakness of the Americans, so get Einstein ready if you haven't bought him already. No torpedoes, that's not a weakness. Get good. I mean, yeah, it is a weakness if you get rushed by battleships, but position correctly and, play accordingly. Citadel is above water and easy to hit. All 431s can overmatch the armor, so yeah, that is that 30 millimeter plate there. Poor torpedo defense, well, if you have hydro and radar, kill destroyers. That's one of my favorite arguments. Like, we're talking about the division argument today, which is why we have this Easter egg today, or this Easter egg in this video. And it's like the same people that complain about divisions when they're equally matched are the same people that complain about destroyers' concealment, and then they don't shoot the destroyers. They're the same people that complain about the cruiser ranges and then don't shoot the cruisers. You'll never hear you may hear cruiser mains, complaining about getting dev struck, but it's like, it's common sense when a cruiser gets dev struck by a battleship. I mean, that's how it should be, but the same common sense applies to when a battleship sails in a straight line and gets dev struck by torpedoes. You didn't do anything to counter it, so I don't know. There's a lot of complaining in this game, and I see a lot of it with, just in the Facebook pages. And I used to be one of those people. I still am in certain regards. I think wargaming could do a lot to help this game, but I don't know. I just see far too much complaining about things that, well, if it doesn't go the way I want it to, then it's a problem, and then wargaming has to fix it for me. But anyway, mediocre agility, surveillance radar, and no unique upgrades. Well, anyway. But if the Salem comes to the game, I'm going to absolutely love it. I really wish wargaming would just listen to the play. I don't know. I don't know what they need. You guys let me know what they need. What is the 3 legendary ships that we need in the game? My top 3 are Venezia, Hindenburg, and actually Z-52. I think the daring is very strong, and with the Z-52 in the game, that is a counter to the daring. The biggest problem with legendary tier, I'm going on a rant here, guys, I'm sorry. The biggest problem with legendary tier is the lack of counters. You add in a ship that doesn't necessarily have a counter, and yeah, you could argue that Shimas and Kabas and all this stuff, but the reason that tier 10 works on PC is because all the ships were added at the same time. But anyway, I'm running out of breath here. I'm running out of things to gripe about. But that is the video. Let me, you guys have the arguments in the comments down below. Aaron is out. Peace.